Hi, and welcome to Astro Bites for Saturday, the 21st of September, 2024. So let's see what the astrology is telling us today. And then at the end of the astrological section, we will of course have our word for the day. And it's another good one today. We've had a very positive, upbeat week with our words. But the astrology for today, now I think what is super lovely is that because we've had this full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, it's kind of created, as I said when I did the full moon, this kite formation in the cosmos. And the cosmos, or the kite, doesn't change much. It's just that the planet, or the cosmic body that is on the bottom point of that cake, that's obviously where my mind goes, cake food, the cosmic body on the bottom point of this kite is changing. Let me explain, because it is really super exciting. First of all, we have Neptune, which is at retrograde at 28 degrees of Pisces. And in my event chart, it's on what we call the midheaven. Remember, Neptune is about dissolution. It can be about confusion. It's dissolving. It can be illness and viruses and things like that. But I'm not suggesting there is anything negative in what I'm seeing in the chart today. It's in opposition exactly with the sun in Virgo. Now remember, the sun was opposite the moon for the full moon partial lunar eclipse when the moon was conjunct Neptune. The moon has now gone all the way through Aries and is now in Taurus. So we have this tension between the sun and Neptune. So there's something here about needing to actually attend to our psychological health today. Maybe we have been experiencing some breakthroughs since the full moon with maybe certain situations in our lives, so that there's a sense of more freedom of speech, feeling freer within, because Uranus, remember, is on one point of this kite, sextiling Neptune, thus trining the sun. And then, of course, the sun in turn trines Pluto, and Pluto sextiles Neptune, but also trines Uranus. I know it's a lot to keep in one's head, but Uranus, I think, has been silently in the background of this full moon, awakening us, shifting us, if we're choosing to move with the energy. As I've often said before, the astrological direction and energies are kind of there like a map, like we're reading a map in the old days of whether to take the pretty route down the windy, windy lanes or the direct route. So this is what really astrology provides for us, a map. We can choose to go nowhere. We can choose to stay stuck in whatever perhaps has led us up to this full moon and not been able to be proactive, to initiate something, to change something in whatever situations have been concerning us in our life. And it's also interesting today because we've got this sextile, which remember is a helpful aspect between Mars, that is now in Cancer, and the moon in Taurus. So let's have a little think about this. Taurus, remember, is about luxury, finance, self-worth. Cancer is about the home and the family. Mars is about being proactive. the moon can sometimes represent the mother. Is there something that needs to be addressed for you with your own mother, whether she is still with us or not? Is there some energy that has been evoked through the full moon that Mars is saying, come on, address it, look at it? And the moon also represents people in general. And because it's in the 11th house of this chart, it's like the larger community. And it may be that if you've been being a little bit reclusive over the last few days, it was a powerful full moon. I feel as if I've been put through a mangle emotionally. I've come out the other end, but by God, it's been quite a tough one. And I'm supposed to be reading the map. But moving on, Mars is taking action and saying, get out there, go out, go see what's going on in the world. Be with like-minded people. Jupiter, remember, is still squaring Mercury in Virgo. This can indicate some tough talk that has to take place, but it doesn't have to be negative or destructive or any of those things. It can be constructive because it's a square. And Venus is building towards its square from Libra, the sign it rules, to Pluto in Capricorn retrograde. But I'm going to talk about that another day. So basically, the energy for me, I feel today, is about taking the initiative with family. Maybe you have friends who you consider family. Be proactive. Think of something you can all go and do together. Let's move with the energy and come out into the light. You know, the moon's moved through Aries. It's tried to get us out there, tried to move us on. Now it's in Taurus. This is about how you feel about you, your self-worth, and how you come across to the community, to the collective. Show them your best side. Be vibrant. Be vivacious. Be stunning. Be love. Let's move on to the word for the day. It's a good one. It actually came up when I was talking about samsara. And I thought, oh, brilliant word. This has to be Saturday's. So what we have is Nirvana. Have any of you achieved Nirvana? Not sure that I have. Maybe those brief moments where we are in that state of oneness with the universe. But it's a central concept in Buddhism. And so I've got some quotes, as I often do, and explanations. And the description of Nirvana is that it's seen as a state beyond the cycle of birth and death and rebirth, which is samsara, which is the word we had yesterday. And when we reach Nirvana, suffering on any level ceases. It's difficult to achieve this as a constant, so I'm not expecting a constant, just an awareness of it, to get that glimpse. It's about letting go of attachments, including our ideas and perceptions. And through that, it leads to liberation from suffering, from worry, from ruminating. So, Buddhadasa Bhikkhu, so I hope I'm saying these words correctly, any of you who are Buddhists or excellent on Buddhism. He says, Nirvana is the coolness that comes when the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion are extinguished. So that emphasizes that Nirvana is the cessation of negative mental states. And that leads us to peace and tranquility. Then Sogyal Rinpoche says, and again, apologies if I'm saying or pronouncing these words incorrectly. He says the state of mind of someone who has attained Nirvana is completely free from the dualistic tendencies of grasping and fixation, as well as any trace of suffering or mental impurity. And this is explained as Nirvana representing a state of pure awareness. Oh, sometimes we get that, don't we? Sometimes. Where we're beyond the dualities of good and bad, and attachment and aversion. Then the good old Dalai Lama said, Nirvana is the highest state one can attain, a state of enlightenment, meaning a person's individual desires and suffering is transcended. So this highlights Nirvana as the ultimate goal of enlightenment. And personal suffering is then transcended. I think it's very difficult for all of us to achieve that, especially with the pace of everyday life and the challenges we meet daily and see played out on the world stage. But ultimately, Nirvana is a state of ultimate freedom from suffering and the illusions that perpetuate it. So there we go. Quite an interesting word. I've got another quick one because I was going to use this and then I thought, not sure, but I'm just going to say it because if you're South African, you'll probably know it. And it's Ubuntu. And I found very interesting because it's a Southern African philosophy meaning I am because we are, emphasizing interconnectedness and the collective human experience. Now, I think that is quite a good place to pause because the one thing that we really need to achieve is that recognition and knowledge that we are all from the same divine spark. We are all one. We are just little sparks floating around in the cosmos, all interconnected, like this giant invisible psychic web. And when one of us is kind of offline, then we should all be collecting ourselves together to help lift that particular spark back into its state of Nirvana. There we go. So have a wonderful Saturday. Remember, tomorrow I'll be doing my week ahead forecast, usual time, same place, same time. And please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow for yet another Astro Bite. Bye for now.